welcome to the We Were Athletes Once podcast. I'm Cody, and I'm here with Julian today. We are finally back to talk a little hockey, and a lot has happened since the last time that we talked. We've got the Olympic freeze coming up in about 2 weeks or
2 weeks,
maybe
yeah.
a little less. And trades have started. But before we hop into that, there's a lot of big news, some signings, some trades, um, and a few other things that we need to talk about. So the first thing, the big one that happened almost right after we recorded last time is out of nowhere, the Columbus Blue Jackets fired Dean Evison and immediately hired Rick Bowness to take over. What What do you think happened there? Because that, to me, that came out of left field. I had no idea that was even being thought about.
After the fact, I saw some of the players, not even like active players, but like guys who've been traded, guys who left and resigned. They said they weren't surprised. Maybe it was like a locker room thing. Maybe he lost the locker room. And I mean, I don't think the Blue Jackets are having that terrible a season. The East is just going crazy right now. I haven't checked in a minute, but I feel like last time I was looking at it heavy, that every team was over 500. I mean, I don't know if you blame it on the coach. I mean, the team's not the strongest, but they're still above 500. I think I agree with you. It just came out of nowhere, but if I had to guess, it would probably be something lost the locker room in some certain way.
Yeah, I know they said they weren't happy with how the season had gone so far, but
Yeah.
I didn't think it was terrible, like enough for
No.
that to happen.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, either way, Dean Evison out real quick. He had coached in Minnesota prior to that.
I believe so, yeah.
Um, so now we've got Rick Bowness who takes over, and he's been the coach. I don't know, 5, 6 teams or so
Yeah.
at this point, and I don't know what the change has been, or if it's just the culture, if something was bad there. But since he got hired, which they're playing as we speak right now, they are 3-0 since Rick Bowness has
Yeah.
taken over. So whatever it was, maybe it's just that we usually see this. Like when a coach gets fired, it lights a fire under the team's butt
Yeah.
and they kind of go on a roll. So we'll see how long this lasts, if it's just a honeymoon phase or if, Rick Bowness has taken something and changed it and
Yeah.
Columbus is going to come alive. But I actually like Columbus. I enjoy their team, what they're doing. So it's it's an Eastern Conference team, so they don't bother me too much. So I hope they do well.
Yeah.
But it's going to be interesting to watch because if things don't change and it goes back to what it was, you've already changed the coach. That means trades are coming next,
Yeah.
and they've got a lot of interesting pieces, which we might get into a little bit later when we discuss another team who is very open for business. Um, an interesting one. We see waivers and people passing back and forth through waivers all the time. Nick Leddy is
Imagine
gone
that.
through waivers. Yeah, and this is the second time it's happened.
Yeah.
The first time was he refused to be traded to the Sharks from the Blues.
Yep.
So the Blues put him on waivers,
They took him
and the
in.
Sharks pick him up. So he didn't help himself there.
No.
But this Sharks team is very real to make the playoffs this year, kind of out of
Yeah.
nowhere also. And they don't have a lot of defense. So this one was a little surprising that veteran Nick Leddy gets put on waivers, and he's going back to the AHL for the
Yep.
first time since the 2012-2013 season.
I mean,
I didn't think I'd see this day.
it's a little like, I don't know if it's embarrassing for his career or what. That you just said it. The Sharks defense is not that deep, and getting waived as like a veteran defenseman who they wanted, and you want to go there, but they still came and got you, and now you're getting waived by that team that went out of their way to get you. The trade didn't happen, so we waived you, and then they're gonna come pick you up and waive you. I feel like it's a downward trend in his career. I mean, he didn't have the greatest years with the Blues. I mean, he was all right, but not very defensive minded. But and back in the AHL for who I would consider one of the better defensemen of like the 2010s.
Yeah, He's only played 19 games this season. He's got 4 assists
Yeah,
and is a -9. But again, early on in the season, their
yeah,
defense was really bad. Their goaltending struggled a lot, and like you said, I hate to say this because he's like 2 weeks older than me. Um, he he's probably not getting another chance, really. Um, if he doesn't come back up, I don't like maybe someone signs him as a seventh D after this year. But this is the end
yeah.
of the contract, so it could be the end of Nick Leddy, which is sad because he was a good blue for a couple of years for us. I appreciate what he did. More of a stay-at-home type of guy. He skates well, but um, if you can't bring the veteran presence to stay on that defense, it's not looking good for you.
Agreed.
All right, I got a question. This determines where we go next. Do you want to talk about the Ottawa rumor?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay. So, for anyone who watches hockey and has been under a rock, um, there was an insane rumor that came out of Ottawa that before we even get to it, we're going to throw it out there that everyone in the Ottawa organization has gone off that this is a blatant lie. This didn't happen. It's ridiculous that this is being talked about, but it had to come from somewhere. Like
Yeah.
this doesn't just appear and then be absolutely fabricated. Like this came from something. So for those of you that don't know, oh my gosh, uh, was it Olmark?
Yeah.
Okay, so Linus Olmark supposedly when the boys go on the road, uh, they're finding some ladies out there, and some of these people finding ladies are the married men on the team. And supposedly, I'm going to keep saying that, uh, Linus Olmark, when this stuff happened, would go back and he would tell his wife about all the stuff that was happening, who was doing what, all the married dudes, and she kept her mouth shut. No problems at this point. Again, not condoning this. I'm just telling you the story. Um, but then it gets back to her, whether it was him or someone else, that he was also involved in this activity on the road. And when she found out that he had been cheating on her, she started calling the girlfriends and wives of all the other players and causing a massive rift in the Ottawa locker room. Since then, Linus Olmark has gone on personal leave and has not been back since then yet. They're saying it's from the mental health of this situation of what's being spread about him and the lies and that he can't handle it.
Who
Take it
comes up with that?
away. Take
Who
it
comes
away with your opinions here.
I mean, like, who comes up with something like that? I could be wrong, but I thought they like he also did walk away, but I think they also put him in a non like contract spot or something. I think I don't remember what it was called, but like he's like not a part of the team at the moment. Like even though that he stepped away, like the Senators did something like that could have been something I just saw and not true at all. But like like you said, like
They come and
something like
get you.
yeah, that's right out my window. It's like you said, it's just it has to come from somewhere. Like you don't just sit down one day and just think of something like that because like I've been seeing stuff like that for weeks and like if it really had that big of an effect on you, it almost like has to be somewhat true. Like it could not be like the whole fact like oh he's been telling her and all that, but like if he's stepping away from the game and like all these other guys have allegedly been doing this too, like what's going on there? Why is it
Yeah,
just him? I don't know.
yeah.
Nobody really knows, but
No, I mean, as we're former athletes, not pro level, but we played growing
yeah,
up our whole lives. If someone started a rumor about me like this, would I be annoyed?
yeah,
Yes. Would I need to take a mental health break to not play?
no.
No. Being on the ice is the one place you can forget everything.
Hmm.
Like, that is the place I would want to be more than anything. You hear about it constantly with athletes. A parent dies, something tragic happens, and
Yeah.
they go out there the next day and play. And their answer is always, it was a place for me to get away from it. I
Yep.
needed that break, whatever. So for me, like there's a lot of smoke
There's,
here. And it wasn't just like all at once. Like there had been some rumblings that something was going on in Ottawa.
yeah.
And then this came out and it was just crazy.
Like,
So I don't want to say it happened because everyone has said no and been very adamant about it. And I don't want to spread some lie that's out there, but it just seems really weird. This story just coming out of nowhere and it being completely fake. Like, I just can't see that happening.
and a little bit with hockey culture, it's almost hard to not somewhat believe it.
Yeah. Because it's not the first time something like this has
No.
happened. I mean, even in Ottawa, like man, they've had issues in the past with like Eric Carlson and that whole situation. Like
Yeah.
there's just been some weird stuff in Ottawa. And I mean, over the years, like I think back to the Craig Janney, Brendan Shanahan stuff
Hmm.
when I was a kid. Like as bad as it is, like these things do happen and
They
we
do happen.
do hear about it. But back then there wasn't social media to spread it like a
Yeah.
wildfire. So um, yeah, I don't know. Like it just seems too weird for something not to have happened.
Agreed.
All right, enough speculation. Enough with the bad. We talked about someone getting fired. We talked about a vet maybe being at the end of his career getting waived. A crazy rumor out of Ottawa. Let's get to some good stuff. We had some signings. I'll start with the smallest ones first. One that shocked me more than any of them, which is the smallest. Okay, the smallest one is Blake Lazat, re-signed 3 years, 2.25 million, with Pittsburgh. Good for him.
Yeah.
Good depth player.
Yeah.
I've got no
Um,
issue with
yeah.
it.
Nothing much to say there.
Um, the one that shocked me though was was Texier.
Yeah.
He gets waived by the Blues, where he played awful. He goes to Montreal. He plays pretty decent for the first, I don't know, what's he been there, like 10, 15 games? Not
Yeah.
very long.
Not very long. It's been like a
And
month.
they re signed him to a 2 year, $2.5 million deal. With the cap going up, that's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Like, I look at this as like a $1.5 million
Yeah.
deal a couple years ago. No big deal. But for someone you just got to only have played a few games to give this extension to, it just seemed really weird to me.
I think it happened a couple days right after he scored that hat trick for him, and I get it. I guess sign him while he's hot, but I you don't see it in the full game. Like
Mm-mm.
he can maybe be there to finish off a great pass or might have a good shot here once in a while, but I don't see it defensively. I don't see the puck movement. I just it's a player, I guess. I mean, if they need a player, go get him. But it's weird to me because the way he played for the Blues was just terrible. I know he was getting scratched all the time, but like it just when there's a reason you're getting healthy scratched for games and getting passed up on by other guys. Like you didn't fit. I mean, maybe he fits their scheme better, but it wasn't working out for us. So I don't really get it. It took 15 games
Yeah.
for you to realize you need to resign someone. Like,
Yeah, and who knows better than us watching him for the last couple of
yeah,
years. I was excited when we got him for
agreed.
basically nothing. I'm like, cool. High high draft pick. Didn't get a good shake in Columbus.
Yeah,
Maybe he'll do something here. And he never really proved anything. Like even fourth line, he didn't really stick. So, good for him getting a
yeah,
contract because I wouldn't have given him one, especially that quick. So good for Alex Texier.
agreed.
Have fun in Montreal. Um, wish you well. Um, and then the Blues signed Alexei Toropchenko to a 2 year, $2.5 million deal. I was excited. I like Torpo.
I do
Love
too.
how he plays. He started driving the net again, which was something
Hmm.
that I desperately have called for him. Um, he hits everything. He's
Yeah,
fast. He does what you want him to do. Plays a north south game. He's a good fourth line guy.
yeah,
And it seems like that $2 to $2.5 million range is going to be the going rate for fourth line players
yeah.
now. So
And that's fine with me. Like I like the way he plays when they're back. But like when we're not playing well, and that seems to happen a lot more than not now. He's always. I feel like I would like because that's our thing, the Blues thing. I feel like we just kind of give up. a lot of the time, and I feel like he's one of the guys, a few guys on the team that still goes out there. We could be down 3-0 in the first 5 minutes. That would happen all the time at the start of the season, and he's still trying. He's still putting that pressure, giving the effort. So I like that signing. He may not get the points, but he doesn't. The stat sheet doesn't mean
Mhm.
everything there.
Yeah, I love him and Nathan Walker together on that fourth line.
Agreed.
If they can figure out what center is going to be that line, um, Jim Montgomery trusts this line and he puts them out there to start every period
Yep.
because he knows he's going to get a hardworking line right off the bat that's going to hit, that's going to drive the net, that's going to board paddle.
Yep.
Love everything about it. So I love Torpo, so I'm excited about it.
Agreed.
The next biggest deal was one of the longer deals, and it was who did I say? Dvorak
Yep.
in Philly, getting the 5-year, $5.15 million, which came out to about $25.75 million. Christian Dvorak re-signs in Philly. How you feel about that length? How you feel about that term?
I I don't know if I've ever rated him that highly. I mean, he's been having a good season. I mean, I when he was in Montreal before, if I'm
Hmm.
was it Montreal? Yeah, Montreal. Yeah,
Yeah.
and maybe it was Montreal just being bad then, but like he's an all right player. Can he keep doing what he's doing in Philly? We'll find out. I don't know. I feel like he's one of those guys who has like a pretty decent contract here and then maybe gets a little too much. I don't know if the money's wrong, more so the term. Can he keep doing what he's doing for that long? We'll find out. I don't hate him as a player, but I think maybe the term. I mean, no, it's not the longest deal, but like
Yeah.
it could
Yeah.
end up a make or break for another depth piece because how much you're paying him.
Yeah. Outside of his first 2 years in Arizona, after his first 2 years, he had a 20 game season and then a 70 game season. But after that, it's been 56, 56,
Yeah,
64, 30. And then last year, he played the full 82. But in that, he's never scored more than 38 points. He's been basically a 28 to 35 type of guy. Um, and maybe it's just we got to get used to this new salary cap scheme.
yeah,
What like maybe a third line center is a $5 million player now.
yeah,
It just feels weird for what
yeah,
it's
yeah,
been for so long that a $5 million player is maybe a second line winger
yeah,
or a fringe 2-3 type of guy.
yeah. Like you're
Um,
not paying that much
yeah,
money for 28 points in the past years.
yeah, yeah. Like for years, we looked at the Blues defense with all of these $6.5 million guys. They're like, man, those are some big contracts for the D. And now you're like
Yeah,
$6.5 million. That's
that's,
like
that's
a number
cheap.
four. Like,
Yeah,
so it might be just us needing to get used to this new
yeah,
increase in salary cap. And even again, in 2 years, it's going to go up significantly
yeah.
more. So maybe that looks like nothing. It just feels weird right now for
Agreed.
what he's doing. Now, he is having a career year. He's at
Yeah,
29 points through 47 games. So he's on pace for, I don't know, 55 ish points,
yeah,
50 to 55, which would be a career high by 12 plus points. So he's having a good year. He made it count where it mattered. And looking at it, he was given just over $5 million on his last contract.
yeah,
So it was a barely an increase. So I guess it makes sense. I'm not
yeah.
upset with it. Um, and then the one of the last ones we mentioned briefly last time because it had just happened when we were talking, and it was Alex Wennerberg getting the 3 year $6 million deal out of San Jose. Um, he's been a good piece for them. He brings some veteran stability up front with a very very young lineup.
Agreed.
You don't have to worry about him being the offensive guy. Like you don't need him to do that because you have these young studs. So you can make him a third line center and just be like, hey, we need you to be that 200-foot guy that can be shut down and put out there against some top lines if you need those minutes. And again, $6 million, like that's fine now.
Yeah, I kind of like him too. I feel like I haven't looked at his stats, but I feel like he's always been pretty good in the face-off dot. So I don't mind that at all. I think especially for the Sharks, who I feel like we've been talking about a lot, lacking depth and like, and you get a key piece and then he's out at the trade deadline. It's been that way for the past like 4 years, and being able to keep a guy like that, I think that's a really good addition for them.
Yeah, he's wearing an A for him right now. 33 points, 10 goals, 23 assists through 48 games.
Yeah,
And he's 31.
not bad.
So when this contract ends, he's only 34. Like, this isn't one of those deals that you're like, well, he's going to be 38 by the end of it. So those last couple of years are going to suck. No, he's
Yeah,
going to be 34. Like, it'll be perfectly fine. So I like the term. I like the value. I like keeping your veteran leadership there to
agreed.
help these young guys along. So I really like that deal. And then the next deal I love, St. Louis did
Agreed.
something right this year, and Philip Broberg has re signed for a 6 year, $8 million contract. I
Yep.
am shocked it's that low.
I am too, especially with some of the other contracts that have been coming out recently for younger guys who've been having good years. And you look at Broberg and the way the Blues are playing, he's not showing up so much on the stat sheet, but by far, I think he's been our best defenseman in the D zone and get it moving the puck around. So, like, if he can keep that up at that rate, that is going to be an awesome contract. Say in 3 years, when you give him a few more years to develop, and he finally, like, I would say, fully settles in and knowing and understanding what his role is. I think it'll really be. I mean, he got his big chance with the Blues, and I hope he does stay here for his career because I love the way he plays. But with, I mean, if you're going to bounce off something really quickly, I hope Holloway's contract isn't that high at least to start. I feel like
Yeah.
maybe the bridge deals is better there to see what happens.
Well, yeah, this one was interesting because Army had said Broberg was open to being here 8 years. Like, he was
Yep.
willing to sign the max deal, and I'm like, why wouldn't you do that then? But like, they were thinking originally like a 4 year bridge type deal, and he's like, nah. He's like, I love it here. Like, we'll do the 8 if you want it.
Yeah.
And so they met in the middle. Maybe it kept the term down,
Yeah. Probably might
to
have.
where they felt comfortable with. Um, but 8 years, like, when the cap goes up again, that's not going to be bad.
That's like almost. I would kind of compare that to like maybe even like 5.5 now for a defenseman.
I'm
Like,
like at least a six, six and
yeah,
a half at most. Like, I think once the cap goes up, almost every team is going to have at least two $8 million defensemen, at least.
100%.
So for us to get our best one signed at 8 for 6 years, you're taking his whole prime basically. I mean, not his whole prime,
But a lot of.
but I mean, you're doing a lot of good here because, we don't think about how young he is. He's only 24.
Yep.
He doesn't turn 25 until late June. So this takes him through his age 30 season, and he
Yep.
can still go out and get another 5 6 year deal
Five,
if he
6 years.
wants
Yeah.
it, and get paid again. So I like it for him. I like it for the Blues to lock him in. You know what your key pieces in their structure are, which
Yeah.
is important because we're about to talk about them here in a minute of what this future is going to look like for them. But I love the deal. Love Philip Broberg. Once this team gets rolling, you're going to see his stats go back up to where they were last
Yep.
year. Um, but he's been playing well. So good for the Blues. Good for him. Now we have a trade to announce. We actually have three we need to talk about. And I'm going to go with the first one, and then the third one, and then the second one, because I want to save the biggest one for last.
That's fine.
The first deal that happened was, where is it at now? It has disappeared. Um, January 8th, the Chicago Blackhawks have acquired defenseman Ryan Ellis, again, not playing, Jake Furlong, and a fourth round pick in the 2028 NHL draft from the San Jose Sharks for goalie Laurent Brisebois, defenseman Nolan Allen, and a seventh round pick. What do you make of this deal?
I think that's just Spencer Knight's been playing a whole lot better than we wanted, and I think it was why even playing for them at the because they have Soderblom.
I don't know where he's at.
He
I
was
don't
fairly
think
in
he's
the
the
AHL.
key piece in this deal.
You don't think so?
I think Nolan Allen is the piece in this deal.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know much about
Uh,
him.
he was a high draft pick. What year was that? It was only a couple years ago. He was drafted 32nd overall in 2021. He's only 22 years old, left-handed defenseman. Um, so last pick of the first round.
Yeah,
Um, but you're still talking about a first round pick that's 22 getting
yeah,
traded here. And for me, like this trade feels weird. Um, Blackhawks are taking on Ryan Ellis's contract. Uh,
yeah.
so you're putting it on LTIR, but you're not going to use that LTIR, so it doesn't really matter for you. Um, this feels like a fourth round pick for Nolan Allen.
Yeah, I could see. Yeah,
Um, I don't know. I don't know.
it's a weird
It
one. That's
just
all I got to. That's out of
it
nowhere.
came yeah, it came across my screen and I looked at this and I go, I don't know what to make of this and I don't know
Yeah,
what they're trying to do here. So it's whatever for me. It's a little meh.
yeah.
Will
It's
Nolan Allen like take a step and be a player? I don't know. He hasn't so far, but he could. Not gonna put it past him.
yeah.
Um, and then one that happened was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. January 19th. The San Jose Sharks again have acquired Kiefer Sherwood from the Vancouver Canucks for defenseman prospect Cole Clayton, a second round pick in 26 and a second round pick in 27. I have lots of thoughts on both
I have
sides of
lots of
this.
thoughts. I
So let
genuinely,
me know what you
yeah,
think.
I genuinely think that's a bit of an overpay. I mean, he's getting up there in age too, and I know we harp on that a lot, but he is, and sure, he's having an all right year. But the Canucks are selling here. Obviously, they're in trade talks. Everybody's in trade talks. I saw Elias Pettersson in a trade talk again today. So
They
always, but
can't move that
and
contract.
yeah, and we've been talking about Kiefer Sherwood for a while. The whole league has. Where is he going to go? Like Canucks are clearly selling everything off. What are they going to get for him? And for a guy who hasn't really done a lot much in his career, and sure, he plays hard. He scores some goals, gets some good points, but giving up two second round picks for him, I don't know. Like he's a good player. The Sharks maybe make a push for the playoffs. I don't think they're winning a cup out of it. They don't give a first round pick for him, so thank Lord. But like I just don't know if that's the right price for what you're getting, but we'll see. We'll see how it works out.
I honestly, with the way Sherwood was playing, if they held him to the deadline and there weren't any good
Nobody
options,
got a first.
I thought he was going to get a first. So
Yep.
part of me is like, well, you didn't give up a first, so that's good.
Yeah.
Um, 2 seconds, it's kind of the equivalent of a first, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Um, you could trade those and move up into the first round, like you,
Yeah.
absolutely. Um, so that part of it, little questionable for me, but I do love that the Sharks are going for it. We
I
have
do.
not seen this in years.
Mm-mm.
Um, I think it's I think it's a smart move because it shows these young guys we believe in you. What
Agreed.
you're doing matters, and not only does it matter to the fans, like they're excited, they're in the stadium, but what you're doing is putting up points in the standings, and you've given us a chance to make a run at the playoffs, which we haven't done in a while.
Yeah.
We could use that revenue, so we're gonna invest it directly back in this team, and we're gonna make a run of this thing. So
Yeah.
I love what it says to the players in that locker room. It says we're going for it and we believe in you. So I do like that. I My biggest issue with it is I feel like you just need a lot of defense.
Yeah.
Like
And you're
you are
you're giving up.
scoring in bunches. Like let's fix the defense. So if you're giving up 2 seconds, go get a defenseman.
Yep. Yeah. I didn't think about it that way, but yeah, you're giving up two good assets, and you're not going after your biggest weakness. Like you score goals, you need someone who stops them from scoring goals because goaltending's gotten a little bit better there, but the defense is just still it's their clear biggest weakness. There's nothing going on there. It's a bunch of literal old guys. There's a bunch of old guys there,
I
and
mean,
I'm not going to hate on them because they've been playing decent for way better than what I expected them to do. But I just the two for second round picks, you can go get a Falk, and I'm not saying Falk's the answer to all your issues, but I don't think Kiefer Sherwood is either. So,
no.
and you need
I mean,
defensive
I'm
help.
looking at their defense. Like, you've got Dmitry Orlov, who's getting up there.
Yeah,
You've got John Klingberg,
he's really up there.
who's up there, and he's never been a good defenseman. He is always offensive. Um, Mario Ferraro might
He's all
be
right.
the
He's
best
probably the
option
best
you
one.
have.
Yeah, probably the best one.
Um, Timothy Liljegren, who has never developed into a good player. Shakir Mukhamadullin, who
Young.
young, has potential, hasn't put it all together yet.
Mm,
Vincent Iorio, again, young, hasn't done much yet. Sam Dickinson, who I like, but again, he's a rookie.
yep.
And then with Nick Letty going down, they just called up Vincent Desharnais. So, eh,
Yeah.
like you've got some size with Desharnais, with Dickinson, with Iorio, with Mukin Madulin, but that's that's not a good defense. Like some of those can be offensive, but where is the defensive defenseman? Where's those guys that are going to clear the net, that are going to get the puck out of the zone, that's going to stick check, that are
Yeah.
going to take away lane? Like
It's
I
not
don't
there.
see it.
It's not
I
there.
don't see
At
it.
least not
And
anymore. Maybe 10
no,
years ago.
yeah, and you took 2 seconds and went and got a forward.
Yep.
That's my biggest issue with it. I don't dislike Kiefer Sherwood. I mean, I do because he's had two Hatties against the Blues this year, which is ridiculous. But he's a solid player. He's having a career year. Someone was going to pay this for him.
Yep.
I didn't think it needed to be the Sharks. I love that they're taking a chance and going out there and getting something because they have traded away a lot of players over the last few years. So they do have a lot of draft capital. This is just not where I thought they should have spent it.
Yeah. Agreed.
And then that leads us to the big one. We've been waiting on this for 2 years now, and it has finally happened. And it's not the team that I thought was going to get him. Ooh, that didn't sound good. Um, 2 days ago, January 18th, the Las Vegas Golden Knights acquired defenseman Rasmus Anderson. From the Calgary Flames, for defenseman Zach Whitecloud, defenseman prospect Abram Waby, a 2027 first round pick, and a conditional 2028 second round pick that turns into a first if Vegas wins the cup this year. So potentially two firsts, a D prospect, and Zach Whitecloud,
Yep.
who is a solid defenseman.
Agreed. If I'm him, I'm angry.
Oh, for sure.
I'm
I
angry.
just went from a cup contender to
Trash.
Calgary. To Calgary. I would not be happy as well. I like this trade for Calgary a lot.
Yeah. They got a good return.
You got a staple defenseman that's going to be in your lineup. He's that defensive D that everybody needs. He's not going to put up a ton of points. He's going to hit. He's going to be physical, and he's going to play good defense.
Yep.
Something that Calgary needs. You also get a first round pick, and at worst,
A
a
second.
second round pick
Yep.
that could be a first, a lottery ticket to a first.
Yep.
They'll be late first rounds either way, but you still got two firsts, or a first and a second.
Yeah.
And then you get a defensive prospect. I have no idea. I've never heard of Abram Waby.
No, I've no clue. He's probably just in there to be in there to make rosters work or
just
something.
AHL for the AHL.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can do quick research here. He is 22 years old, 6'3", 209, left-handed defenseman. He is a seventh round pick in 2022. So, flyer. He's probably never making it to the NHL. He's probably an AHL filler.
Yeah.
But you're going to Calgary. Maybe that opens a door for you to possibly have a chance.
Maybe. Yeah.
But the big part of this deal is Rasmus Anderson. is a Vegas Golden Knight. Did you see them as a potential place for him to go?
I
Um,
feel like
and how do you
that's kind of
feel
this. Yeah,
this does for that team?
I feel like with Petrangelo going, maybe that's something that would help. They clearly have the offense. Maybe that's a good, not maybe, that's a good boost on offense and defense there. He plays both ways pretty well. Sure, you don't really get to see it all that much on the Flames because it's the Flames, but to think about where he could have gone, I mean, you kind of can't count the Golden Knights out of any trade. They've been
No,
acquiring. It's like the Hurricanes. Somehow they
I was
just
gonna say
those
they're
two
just
teams
like Carolina.
they get everybody somehow. It's those two teams are the Dodgers of the NHL. They get everybody you want. Um, I won't get you started
It's
on
not
that.
that bad. It's not that bad.
But it like I wouldn't really like to see him go there. There's definitely better fits for playoff teams that I feel like would have paid maybe a little bit more. Um, One being I'm blanking on it now. It was just there. It was just there. The team I had. Um, Playoffs East.
It's almost all of them.
Yeah, but not the Hurricanes. Definitely not the Hurricanes. Sorry.
uh,
I'm gonna have to look at the team share.
Lightning, Red Wings, Canadians,
Yeah, thank you.
Bruins.
The Red Wings.
Okay.
Thank you, Red Wings. I was expecting them to make a splash there, just because sure you have Mo Sider, but you've got a lot of young D-men there, and I feel like maybe it helps boost offense for sure. I feel like Rasmus Anderson plays pretty well offensively and defensively. And for a team that's trying to make their push back to the playoffs after the whole Yeiser plan thing, I feel like that's a key piece that could help. And that's who I expected to go in for him at least. They probably weren't in trade talks, but it made sense to me.
I'm sure they did due diligence. It seems like they really are after a right-handed defenseman, um, and I have a perfect one for them. But maybe that's a steep price for a
Yeah,
team that you know, might not quite be ready,
yeah,
especially on a guy that, if you don't get to talk to him, like you're giving up all of that, and he could walk as
yeah,
soon as the season's over. That's hard to do. Vegas is in a win now mode always, so who cares?
yeah.
Um, but now, they've got Shea Theodore, Braden McNabb, Jeremy Lazan, um, Caden Korachek, Noah Hannafin, Noah Coughlin, Shea Theodore, or I already said him. Rasmus Anderson now, Ben Hutton, Jeremy
They got a lot.
Lazan. Like, they're loaded.
Yeah,
They're loaded, and you need depth for the rest of this year. So, I, with Petro out, probably forever.
yeah,
Unfortunately, he was a big shoes to fill, and you got that big right-handed defenseman to go into your top four to be one of those top two right-handed guys, and you're loaded up, and you've got the horses that if you want to play two top pairings for 45 to 50 minutes of a game, you can absolutely do that now.
100%.
So this makes it interesting. Can they compete with Colorado? I don't know. I don't know if anyone
Who
can,
knows?
but they're at least giving themselves a chance.
Yeah.
So those are the big trades. Now, um, like we said, the Olympic freeze is happening in about 2 weeks. When that happens, no trades can happen. And then when the Olympic freeze ends, there's approximately 2 more weeks until
Yep.
the trade deadline. Um, First, before we get into specifics, do you feel like there will be more trades before the freeze happens?
Mm, it's hard to say because we hear rumors every single day, and it's like, oh, they've been talking and they're getting close, but then nothing ever happens.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There definitely could be. I don't know if there'll be another like really big name trade or one of the bigger names for the trade deadline that gets dealt before the freeze. But I think you could maybe see some depth pieces. I don't have a specific one. I'd like to see the Blues start making some moves if we're just gonna keep winning a game and then losing two, winning a game, losing two. Let's just let it happen once, please. Just let's miss the playoffs.
Yeah.
It's fine. Get a good pick for 1 year.
Yeah.
1 year. I would
I
like to
mean,
see the Blues make a move. That's just a personal opinion, but there's
yeah.
definitely some teams that need to just like Just give it up.
Yeah. And there was even a small one today between Colorado and Pittsburgh, but unless you know a lot of hockey, you've heard
Yeah,
of maybe one of those guys. Um, so not a big move
yeah,
at all. So those type of moves I can see. Um, and I didn't think about this, but someone I had listened to made a really good point is it's hard for me to see a big move happening before the freeze, because if you make it before, you have to carry that contract all through the freeze and be paying that player, when
yeah.
you could just have a handshake deal in place, and then as soon as the freeze is over, making it happen.
Yep,
Because that's a 2-3 week window where you don't have this player, but you still have to pay him. So
yep.
why make it now, unless you're worried about someone sneaking in
Injury.
and
Or,
injury if they're in the Olympics, or someone coming in
yeah.
and offering something better. Maybe all the GMs are at the Olympics watching it happen, and
Well,
conversations happen, and now you don't have a deal anymore.
agreed.
So if you're worried about someone snagging him, maybe. um, but I think we're going to see kind of most teams wait until after.
Yeah,
um, But you brought up one name, or you brought up a team, and it needs to be talked about. And it's not because it's our team. It's because the Blues are 100% open to business, and not just small names.
yeah.
Um, oh, what's his first name? Pagnota.
Oh, David, I think.
David, is that
Is
it?
it? I
Yeah,
thought it's
David
David.
Pagnota.
Yeah,
Um, David Pagnota has put out multiple times recently that he said he has talked to Armstrong, which I don't believe, because Doug Armstrong keeps everything close to the chest.
yeah,
Uh, you don't hear about big moves until they happen.
yeah,
So everything with a grain of salt. But with it being Army's last year as GM, with how bad this team has been, maybe he has said this just to put it out there. And honestly, it sounds like, from what he said, it sounded like a memo went out to all teams, which is weird because a memo. That the Blues are open for business. Everyone basically is being listened to outside of the new young core.
yeah.
Uh, and and that includes Pavel Buchnevich,
Thank God.
Jordan Kyrou, and Robert Thomas.
That one blows my mind.
I did not think I would see the day that Robert Thomas would even be considered in trade
Agreed.
talks. And that doesn't include the guys that we've been talking about, like any of these lower end players. The Sonny. Hopefully he recovers quickly. He took that skate to the back of the leg. Seems like he's okay. Um, the Sonnies, the Matthew Josephs,
Yeah.
those type of guys.
Get our defense out of here.
Nick Bukestad. I've even seen Pew Suter's name get brought up, even
That's
though we
fun.
just signed him, um, which he's been fantastic for us. Hurt, but fantastic.
Yeah.
Um, the Shen and the Falks, like, we've heard those names for 2 years now,
Yeah.
like, that it could be possible. But hearing that Booch, Thomas, and Kyrou are all being seriously discussed, what's going on here?
I don't know. Outside of the young guys, and like, I'm gonna toss Hofer in there as one of the young guys because
Yeah,
he kind
Hofer's not going
of.
anywhere.
Yeah, no, Hofer. If we got rid of him, we're screwed goalie wise.
Yeah, Bennington's been
Um,
trash.
Everybody outside of the younger core, besides Thomas, I would like fully be fine with. But like, if you take a guy like Thomas and say you ship him off to, I don't know, I'll just use it because it's a close team, Chicago. You put him on a line with Bedard, he's going to be a 90, 100 point player because he has that skill. You just don't have any competent guys who shoot the puck on that line with him. We just pass it around, or we throw it off in the neutral zone, or we just dump it and lose it. There's no one there. I don't like our system. I don't like what we've been playing. No one's been playing with passion. Kyrie isn't shooting the puck. It's brutal because even when we were good, he was putting up almost a point per game, and he'd miss maybe a few games, but he'd be. I think last season he was over a point per game. He was hurt. It wasn't
Mm-hmm.
82, but it was like
He
I think
was.
he played like 68 and had like 70 something points. So like he's clearly our best player. I just I don't understand why you trade him. I can listen to Kyrie because he will get a good return, and I don't think he's been that great. And which hurts because he has potential to be great. He's been our goal scorer, and Buchnevich, he I think every Blues fan knows, even though he had a few seasons there, his contract, he's got to go.
Yeah, I didn't
He,
want him to
he
be
needs a
re-signed.
chance to restart because I don't think that's ever going to happen here.
Yeah. So Thomas last year in 70 games had 81 points and was a
Yeah.
plus 20.
So like, yeah. So say add what he played 70 games
70, yeah.
and he had 81 points. Toss 12 more games on there. He plays the full season. He's probably in the 90,
Hmm.
94 range, somewhere in there. Like
And that's without an elite goal scorer on his line.
exactly, exactly. Like, and we were bad most of that year too.
Until the end, yeah.
Yeah. So like he has the potential. Listening, like it would have to be some crazy, crazy trade. If it wasn't,
Yeah.
I'd be devastated.
Yeah.
I would need top
And
prospect.
the thing with Thomas is like he has looked really frustrated this year.
Yeah. I mean, I
He
would be.
hasn't looked he hasn't looked amazing offensively. I think he's trying to do too much because we've been so bad. But the thing that doesn't get talked about with Robert Thomas is he is one of the best defense forwards in
Yeah.
the league. He was my pick to win the Selkie this
I
year
think he was
because
number 3 in the Selkie last year.
I was like he's an elite defender. He's good on the dot. He's one of the best passers I've ever
Oh
seen. He makes passes that I from above don't even see.
yeah.
It's crazy. So he's a guy that I'm going to shout out another podcast. I was on the Blues Fan Forum podcast with those guys, and they asked me about Robert Thomas and how I viewed him, and I said he's 100-point player if you give him an elite winger. If
Yeah.
you give him a shoot first player, he is going to be a 100-point player, and he's probably putting up 70 to 80 assists.
Yep.
He is so good, and he's so undervalued because he hasn't been able to put up the eye popping numbers because he doesn't have anybody. Because
No.
Kyrou hasn't been that guy.
No.
This like we're talking about those three. Those three have been aligned, and that's what the frustration is.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. If Robert Thomas gets traded, I'm not saying he's getting this exact value, but it better be a Quinn Hughes type return where you go,
100%
holy crap. Now, Quinn Hughes got three legit
player.
prospect
Yeah.
NHL players that are ready to go and a pick.
Yeah.
I think maybe you get two and a pick.
Yeah.
But it should be something like that. You better be getting a replacement young center. You better be getting a high end, if not ready, NHL right handed defenseman, and you better be getting a first round pick.
Agreed.
If you're not getting those three things, you don't trade him.
No.
And I think Doug Armstrong is smart enough to know
Yeah.
that. Like I think he's saying, hey, the price is stupid. If you're willing to meet it though,
Well,
he's
listen.
available.
Yep.
Now, the problem with all three of those big guys, all got no movement clauses. They
Yeah.
have to agree. Um, I think there's been a lot of smoke around Jordan Kyrou
I
all
think
summer
he'd go.
long. I still like Montreal still wants a winger. He was rumored to Montreal for a long time this summer. And I think at this point, he might be willing to waive to almost anywhere that's semi competitive because
Agreed.
he's so frustrated with how he's viewed here in St. Louis. He needs a fresh start more than anyone.
Jimmy Gold is
Booch,
bad.
yeah, Booch, hated the contract when we gave it to him. I wanted him to trade him instead. I like the guy. I think he's a good 200-foot player. He's had a rough season, but he's not putting up points enough to pay him the money you gave him. I don't know what or if you can get something for him, like how much you actually get for him, but if you can, I'm
Yeah.
listening.
I honestly would take 2 second-round picks for him. I would.
Just get back what we gave up.
Yeah. That's fine. We'll re-sign Sammy Blay. I don't even know where Sammy Blay is.
A second and Sammy Blay.
Yeah,
It
second
wasn't even
Sammy
two.
Fine with me.
Um,
You can give me a fourth and a fifth. I don't care. He's been brutal. I don't like him.
if you're willing to eat the contract, okay.
Yeah.
If I don't have to eat any of it, I can see.
I'll take him for what is it? What is it called? When you literally get nothing. Give me my boy future consideration.
The greatest player.
The greatest,
ever.
most traded player of all time.
Yep. No, but for those big names to be out there, it's bad here in St. Louis.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the two that we can almost guarantee are going to get traded: Justin Falk, Braden Shen. Where you think they're going? What do you think a return possibly looks like for them?
I'll start with Shen because I think Falk's a lot harder. I think Shen does end up on one of these two teams, Hurricanes or Golden Knights. It just
Oh,
I like
interesting.
I very much do. It could even be like maybe isn't Duchesne still hurt for the Stars?
Yep.
Yeah, so it could also be like a Stars. I don't think we'd trade him in division, even though we're not probably going to be in the playoffs. I don't think we'd do that.
That would
Um,
be so sad.
yeah, Golden Knights. William Carlson's out. They lost one of their core centers there. Shen can fill that spot, and I think with the weapons around him, he can play a lot better than he has been for the Blues. He brings veteran. He's been a captain, great leader. You need some guy like that for the playoffs. You already have that there. Even more help. And they'll find way to make it work somehow. They would have to probably get rid of a player back, which is honestly I prefer that more. Give me something back. I'm tired of waiting on prospects, and I haven't even had to wait that long.
Yeah.
There's been teams waiting forever, but I don't want to do that. Hurricanes, I feel like they could make it work without it being a player. I think if he goes to the Hurricanes, it's probably draft picks, maybe a prospect that they already have. I don't know. Falk's hard because I feel like every team.
Oh, before you go there, hold on. I have a crazy idea, and I
Yeah,
don't know how crazy it is, but I need to check the standings to see where this team is. Eastern Conference wild card standings. I don't want to say this if they're too far gone,
yeah.
but oh no, they're 1 point out of the wild card. All right, I think Braden Shen goes to the Toronto Maple Leafs,
You know,
reunites with Craig Berube, and they trade for Luke Shen and reunite the brothers.
I could very much see that. I mean, we've traded a lot with them, especially at the deadline as of late. We've been sending them a lot, and let's see, like the O'Reilly trade. Maybe I'm overestimating it. Hold up. I feel like we traded with them a lot. Oh, maybe just the O'Reilly trade.
Um,
I feel like we sent someone else there at the deadline, maybe a year before. Hmm. I could be so wrong, but
um,
I feel like there's always some rumor there. Too, I could. See, I was thinking you were going to say the Devils, and I was thinking about that there for a second. The Devils need some veteran presence there, but I don't know. But the
yeah,
Leafs, I could very much see bringing the brothers together for one last playoff run, or maybe even
yeah.
one for last year.
Well, because and I only say that because one, that was the rumor last year
Yeah,
is he was going to go to Toronto. He said he wanted to stay in St. Louis to finish it. We all know what happened.
yeah,
Um, Obviously, him and Berube have a good relationship. They worked well together. Um, And I think Craig Berube is going to tell his front office, get me hard nosed, gritty
yeah.
players. But we
We
need
need
to
it.
change the freaking culture. What better way to do it than bring in the Shen brothers?
Yeah,
They're going to be hard nosed. They're going to be gritty. They're going to hit everything. They're going to fight whoever, and they're not going to let players slack.
yeah.
And I think that is a locker room that needs that more than anywhere.
I agree. I agree. I do
Um,
agree with that.
so, will it happen? I don't know,
Who
but I
knows?
like it. What about Justin Falk? This is where we're going to end today. Last one before we finish this up.
I feel like
Justin
this is
Falk.
very much the hardest of the two. I feel like
I
every
think this
playoff
one's
team
easy.
besides the Golden Knights needs a defenseman. I I don't know. If I had to pick my first team that would go after a guy like him, Oilers, maybe.
Oh,
I, I don't know.
oh.
I don't really care who takes him. Someone just needs to.
Listen, I hope you're right and that this becomes a bidding war. I
Yeah,
hope that every team is lined up for Justin Falk and no other defenseman's on. Like, I love that Rasmus Anderson already got
hmm
traded. We don't have to wait on it. We don't have to worry.
yeah,
If Falk is the top of the market come trade deadline, it only benefits the Blues. And I think it starts with a first round pick. I think he's absolutely getting it, and people are going to say we're crazy. Please
oh,
look at
okay,
what Justin Falk is doing this year. He is
okay,
putting up insane numbers. Um, we hear about some of these other defensemen putting up, big goal totals and stuff. Justin Falk is the leading scorer on the Blues.
yep,
He has, what is he at, 11 now? He's got 11 goals, 22 assists, or no, 11 goals, 11 assists, 22 points in 49 games. He's half a point a game player. He's playing 22 and a half minutes a night. Um, and he's got 11 goals. Like, he can run your power play. He's got an awesome shot. He
yeah,
gets things through the net. He jumps in on the rush and gets in on the wing. he does everything you want, and he's bounced back as a defenseman this year and doesn't look lost like he did last year.
Agreed.
Um, this is a guy who I think has been the St. Louis Blues best player, and that includes Philip Broberg when he wasn't injured. I
Yeah,
think Justin Falk has absolutely been the MVP of the Blues outside of Joel Hofer, and he is going to be lined up for. I think it starts with a first and probably a good prospect along with him. My pick is he's going to the Detroit Red Wings. I've been
I
on
can
this
see.
from the beginning. They need a right-handed defenseman, as we talked about earlier. Um, He's from Windsor, Ontario, which is just across the border from Detroit. I think it's a perfect fit.
Yeah, I agree. I
I
agree.
think they needed that right-handed D. They need that veteran leadership back there. What better player to do it than a Justin Falk?
I agree. I like that spot. And
Now,
just like we were saying, I thought Rasmus Anderson was probably going to go there, and they need that defense help. Maybe it's not this year. Maybe it's if he can keep playing like that. It's maybe a Falk's a guy you resign. Maybe you've got other depth. You've got pieces there on your defense. He can be a second defenseman on that second line somewhere and play well. And I don't. I think they have the cap space for it, and he might fit their style of play.
yeah, he's only $6.5 million, which if you need the Blues to eat,
They will.
they will. But the thing is, too, Justin Falk is not a rental. He
No.
has another year left on this contract. So you're getting him for two playoff runs. And if the Blues eat, let's say $1.5 million for both years, eat $1.5 million, you get him down to a $5 million player on this salary cap. I think you're going to have to give up something good with the teams that are going to be lined up for
Yeah,
this.
I agree.
So it's going to be interesting. I'm excited. A couple weeks away from the Olympic freeze. That's the only thing us Blues fans have to be excited about right now. That and where are our players going to get traded and for what?
Yep.
Because it's ugly here in St. Louis. But for the rest of you guys, let us know where you think some of these guys are going. Who are we missing? The big trade candidates that you think are on the move. Uh, but give us your takes. Who you like? Who you want to see go? Where you want to see them go? Like, subscribe, all the stuff. So for us here on the We Were Athletes Once podcast, I'm Cody. That's Julian, and we will see you guys next time. See ya.